Oh,
What's up, everybody? It's your boy State, the State of the New York Knicks podcast. I appreciate everybody who's about to tune in right now. As you can see, I have the lovely Knicks Omni Fan with me, and it's just so, it's such a blessing to have you two sitting with me right now, man. Thank you so much.
We're honored.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you
a
for
pleasure.
having
Yes,
us.
thank you for having
It's a
us.
long time coming. I'm glad we made it
we are
happen.
so happy to be here.
Also, what I will say is, thank you for the trip from Queens. I know that.
Oh, of course.
Queens is like, a long.
It's another borough, but
we
it's
New
okay.
Yorkers. We make a whole way to wherever we gotta go.
Exactly. Harlem is just boop.
So let me get right into it.
Okay,
As far as,
yes.
Knicks Omni Fan. It's y'all two, and we was just having a conversation off camera about doing content by ourselves and what we have to go through. Where did Knicks Omni Fan come from? One, and two, when it comes to Knicks Omni Fan, where did the name come from? How did you become Knicks fans? Where did it all begin? Like, I need.
Oh, we hitting us with the
whole origin story.
Come on, the
okay.
whole. All right, the whole origin. All right, so just in terms of our fandom and where that all started out. So first of all, we were born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, Fort Greene, Brooklyn. Shout out to Fort Greene.
You already know.
You already. And I mean, our dad played basketball. Like, he did it in high school and college. We weren't around clearly, but then as he got older and we came to be, it's just been a part of the background of the threads of our upbringing. So we grew up as Knicks fans. I mean, my aunt loved John Starks, that whole early 90s team. And then once we became Knicks fans in probably like 93, 94, I would say.
Yeah, where it really took a hold. You know what I mean?
Like we really knew what was going on.
Right.
I mean, we're 80s babies, but we came into the fold officially in the early to mid 90s. And then really once we got into high school, that 99 team,
oh man,
that just took us to a whole other level. Like literally we would have debates in school at lunch. I mean, no matter what class
all day long, it felt like at some time.
Because during this time, it was controversial. I mean, I guess it always is controversial to be a Knicks fan, to be honest, because there's people that love us, either they love us or they hate us. You know what I'm saying? That goes for New Yorkers as well. Sometimes, like we would go back and forth with New Yorkers who were Pacers fans, Miami fans, and that would hurt our hearts. So we had to go extra hard. So in high school was when we really solidified our die-hard fandom, if you will. My mom was one of our biggest supporters in terms of nurturing and cultivating this level of fandom, which would entail going to games as kids, but also even when we didn't have tickets, we would go at the end of the games and, wait around and get autographs and have little conversations and pictures with some of the players from the Knicks and also opposing teams. I mean, that first of all, you have to be diehard. Do you know how diehard you have to be to have your mother work an entire 8-hour plus day? And still, this is the time, we were regularly on trains, things like that. My mom worked in Long Island. She worked in the city, she all over the place. And she would still make time for us after our homework was done. That was a prerequisite to have our homework done. But then she would indulge us in our guilty pleasure, if you will, which was the Knicks. So boom. So we went away to
wait. I just want to
interject
here.
Jump on in,
because there was a really pivotal part within this part of our lives where we did an internship with Allen Houston's clothing line at the time. It was called Unk. And
when did that clothing line come out?
I don't know exactly when it started, but I think we did the internship in 10th grade. I think it was the summer of 10th going into 11th grade. And started out, Allen Houston was my favorite player. And just one day he was doing an autograph signing at the Jacob Javits Center. Okay. So boom, me and my mom went. I don't know where you were that day.
Oh,
she was MIA.
I was doing Jen things.
She was MIA.
Jen doing Jen things.
But so boom, we go to this autograph signing, we get our pictures and everything. But also his business partner Dave Huey was there as well. And my mom asked him if there was any opportunities for an internship or anything like that. And he gave us his business card. I followed up. I called, my 16-year-old self called and asked and about an interview and things. And we both got the internships, and that really opened our eyes in terms of the entrepreneurial side of working within the sports realm.
Absolutely.
And from that experience, we were both set on, no, we're going to have our own business one day and have our own sports enterprise.
Absolutely.
You know,
and so boom, that's high school days. That's high
Right.
school days. And so from there, you know, we both went into our respective careers. I was working in early childhood education. Jazz was working in logistics for a betting company. And we just, you know, while we liked what we did, but we didn't love what we did. You know, we didn't love it. There was a part missing, and part of that is number one, being our own bosses, and two, passion. I mean, come on, sports. We live, breathe, and eat sports, and so we really wanted to find a way to make our passion a career path. Okay. And so we started off. So we're from Fort Greene, like I mentioned, and so we started off initially with a Facebook group called Fort Knicks. And in Fort Knicks, we held this grassroots trial and it was called the Ultimate Knicks Fan Competition. And in this trial, we were measuring, well, first of all, we wanted to see if Knicks fans wanted to be rewarded for posting content and being acknowledged for, you know, the type of content that they posted. And so we did this. We went through a whole survey, you know, kind of selection process. And we ended up picking up, I think it was 10 contestants. And for a month long process, we had competitions. There was weekly competitions, and it culminated, you know, ultimately in this 4-week competition, grand prize competition. And the person who won, shout out to Mrs. Knicks, Anna Bryant. Yeah, she killed it. She dominated. She made it so that nobody could compete. However, what I say that I mean, we're ever grateful for that process, because what we saw was that fans did want to be rewarded. They did want to be brought to the forefront. I mean, these are during the days, mind you, during the days when the Knicks were trash. I'm sorry, we just gotta call a spade a spade.
Early 2000s.
Yeah,
this was James.
2010, 2011 days. Come on.
But what kept y'all? See, I have an issue.
Okay.
So on Knicks Twitter, I'm always negative. I'm always
come on with
this Thibodeau nonsense.
Okay, and we're gonna get to that too.
It's a thin line being negative and being positive,
or being real.
I'm gonna say, see that.
Being realistic. Being realistic. Yes.
And what kept y'all positive through that time? Where, you know, I say time.
That's a great question.
You know, he traded damn near every first round pick.
Oh, please.
Oh, man.
Eddie Curry and Jerome James.
We had a terrible front office during that time. And I mean, Steve Mills and Scott Layden, terrible for the Knicks, ultimately. Terrible. Phil Jackson, that hire, terrible for the Knicks, because again, well, I don't know, Steve Mills and all that, you know, I'm not going to say it's collusion or anything. However, you know, whatever. It's what's in the past. However, I think a moment where the franchise could have really gone to the next level, which was when Phil Jackson, you know, took over. Was it president of basketball operations? I forget his exact title, but yeah,
right. Yeah, he's president of basketball operations.
Yeah, right. He had the authority to really build around Melo, and Melo never got the squad he deserved.
Right.
So, you know, that was. I mean, we were riding hard for Phil. It was in Phil we trust days. You know what I'm saying? But we ultimately were let down, and ultimately he's like a thorn in our sides to this day, you know, because the organization suffered as a result of so many bad moves that were made during the early 2000s. But to answer your question, I think it was just pure loyalty, you know, because when you're down and out and your team keeps making bad trade after bad trade, bad season after bad season, there's nothing that, you know, will keep you in it besides just pure loyalty and camaraderie. Now, we gotta talk about the camaraderie portion, because the loyalty is it's just the underlying fact, but the camaraderie is what brings us together. And so we realized we're on Facebook. We're, you know, this is the Facebook days, and then IG, you know what I'm saying, and Twitter, of course.
Where can people find y'all on Facebook? Because I definitely post.
Okay. You can find us at Knicks Omni Fan on all platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, even YouTube as well. Holla at us where we know it's a challenge. We'll get into the challenges of, you know, what our everyday goings-ons are, but find us. That's where you can find us. Knicks Omni Fan on all platforms, and theomnifan.com is our website. Yeah. But just in terms of bringing community together and the camaraderie that we really relied on to bring us to where we are now, we realized, we have a super dedicated community who are like, we're like family, and we're constantly engaging. We're meeting up, we're
standing up for our team.
Yeah, standing up for our team, but also we're pouring into the team as well. We're going to events, we're going to games, we're buying merch.
And then there were the Brooklyn Nets that came into the system.
Oh, and that fueled us extra.
Yeah,
because
when the Facebook groups in the early days, I mean, everybody that was in the Facebook groups at that time knows that it was, Knicks fans versus Nets fans, and that's when they thought they were, hot because they had
thought
KG,
they were something because they were new to Brooklyn,
right?
And everybody wants to jack Brooklyn. Let's be real,
exactly. But yeah, and we've said this before. We're from Brooklyn, Fort Greene, a couple blocks from the Barclays.
Period.
Never will be Nets fans
ever.
Okay,
ever.
But yeah, no, there was just a lot of banter online that made us realize like, okay, wait. So even though we're losing terribly and we have been for seasons, Knicks fans are still dedicated, and there is this sense of community. So
we want to do things together,
right?
Like,
exactly.
We want to do things together, and why not have an entity as Omni Fan? It wasn't Omni Fan then. It was
right.
It was Knicks for Knicks. But why not be a catalyst for making it, bring it to the next level?
Right. And if you weren't a season ticket holder, you weren't getting any perks. It didn't matter how much you spent on tickets individually, how much you spent on merch, how much you engaged on social media. You weren't being recognized by the organization.
Right. So we saw a need, and so then we said, all right, Fort Knicks. It was a great name for the time, but we realized that we want to be scalable. Omni Fan is not always going to be only for the Knicks. Omni means all, and fans obviously is self-explanatory. All fans. So that's what Omni Fan means in its essence. We're an inclusive platform and hub for fans to connect, to be rewarded, to be acknowledged. And we do that. That's literally. I mean, if anybody has been to an Omni Fan event, shout out to you first of all.
Right.
But we're all about connecting, having a good time, and like whether it's group therapy where we got to lean on each other or where we're celebrating, whatever it is, we're there. The highs and lows, we go through them together. So that's what brought about Omni Fan. The name, we went through a whole name selection process. We had like 12 names, and we even sat my family down.
We had a whole PowerPoint presentation and everything.
We presented like we're not playing. And we ultimately stood on Omni Fan because we felt like it was the most inclusive, and it just had a ring. After after the selection process, you go through all your names, and Omni Fan is the one that stuck. So that's how Omni Fan came to be.
That's great. And then okay, you got Knicks Omni Fan.
Yeah. So
now the next part is planning.
Mm-hmm.
How are we going to do this? Where's this going to lead to?
Right.
Who's going to do this and what?
Right.
How are we going to get the graphics going? How are we going to get these connections?
I love your question.
Yeah. No. These are
where does that come from? Because even myself, like I caught myself the other night, and like I started writing last year January. I started writing like Substacks and stuff, and writing articles about anything New York. So I wrote about Pee Wee Kirkland.
That's dope. Love that.
Carlton Hines. But then I messed around and wrote about what's this guy? Oh my God!
It's okay. We don't put you on the spot. Well, but you've been writing. You've been.
I've been writing a lot.
Getting
so
that
writing just helps me in general. Like get my thoughts out and get my thoughts on paper. So like writing at 4 a.m, people don't see that.
Ooh.
Right.
Okay. That part.
Planning like just now. So now that I got my Substack in front of me, I just wrote about Josh Hart. Right. I love Josh Hart.
We do. I mean, yeah. We love him.
My coworker, he calls him John. He call him Josh Starks.
Ooh,
okay.
They're very
the parallel. I mean, it's right there.
But like that was like a recent Substack that I wrote.
Yes.
What does it take, to plan like that? Like, how much mental strength do you need to have? And do y'all both have any advice for people that's trying to get into that lane?
I would say, well, first of all, in terms of just general advice, you just have to put your mind to it and just do it. A piece of advice that we heard somewhere along the way is if you keep waiting to perfect something, it'll never go out. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to give it a try. And if you give it your honest, if you're your true self, people will just, they'll believe in that. They'll vibe with that. And then you build off of that. as far as planning these events, I mean, you know, we started out just with one watch party at a spot called Voodoo in Brooklyn, and we used to go there all the time.
Shout out to
Yes.
Voodoo Lounge. Oh my gosh.
And you
What an
know,
era.
that first party, it was mostly friends and family and people that just wanted to support us. And then it's just momentum. You have to stay consistent. That is the key.
Yes.
Consistency is the name of the game, because if you do something then you fall off, the customer or the people, they don't really know what
They
you're
get
doing.
confused. They
Right,
get confused.
right. They don't know. So consistency is the name of the game, and that's something that we've been struggling with. You know, but when I say struggle, I mean it's just something that you want to be as consistent as possible. So as we said off camera, you know, it's me and Jen doing mostly everything. So it's hard, but you just have to stay to it, stay with it, and everything doesn't have to be perfect.
And if you fall off the horse, you just get right back on.
Yeah.
Just don't, if there's something that you believe in, if it's something that you have a passion for, fine. All right, whatever. Beat yourself up, but don't beat yourself up for too long.
Right.
Get back on the horse. That's it. Like, there's nothing that's ever completely a wrap. Like, if you really want it, you can go back on that horse and you can get it. Like, and that's what we've had to do. You know, we've had so many setbacks. You know, Omni Fan originally started out as it was supposed to be, and not that it won't be, but it started off, we had an app that was being developed. We ran into several hiccups involving that. We were going to be like a Black female tech company, even though we're not coders. We have, you know, we had the vision.
We invested within a company, and you know, it didn't work out, you know, and you know, pivoting is the name of the game as well.
You got to pivot because
you're
gonna throughout your journey, you will be presented with lots of obstacles, and it's the way that you pick back up. It's the way that you bounce back that really matters. What's going on?
Our guy.
That's Billy. Billy Faye. Wagwan.
What's up, Eugene?
I don't know.
Let me show you Jazz.
I don't know if Billy knows you're alive right now.
But we're alive. We are live. We are live. Come on, we love you. I wouldn't expect you to. We love you too. He has the best intentions, I'll tell you that.
Yes.
That's your prodigy. We love you too. Mwah. All right, you too. All right, later. We go way back with that guy. First of all,
he was part of Fort Knicks.
Right. The back story with we call him Eugene, but everybody call him Billy. You know, I ain't gonna blow you up. I mean, everything is, you know, public knowledge anyway. That's a good laugh on that one. That's funny. We saw him first as most people did in the Knicks community. Angry Knicks fan. You know, burning his, what was it, KP jersey in the snow? Was it KP at the time?
Yeah.
I think it was KP.
2017, 2018.
No,
it was before that.
It was a different jersey.
It was like 2014 when we first like linked with Billy. Like, that's how far back we go. Like, it's been 10 years out here. And so he went viral on ESPN, and these are during the days, and we still do these things because connecting is a part of our brand. We're, you know, it's not just one entity that's going to make anything pop off. Like, we're a community, and it's our responsibility to make connections and put each other on where we can. Like, that's how we operate. But so we reached out to him back then, and you know, we didn't really have necessarily the clearest of visions in what we wanted him to do, but we saw value that, you know, he was opinionated. Once you have a perspective, you can go places. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so he had a perspective,
for sure.
And even though it may not have been the most popular perspective, it got people talking,
right?
And that's what you want. You want to have discussions, and
absolutely.
We started a discussion from there. And at one point in time, he was like a moderator for our Facebook group, and then he was
doing trivia,
making up trivia questions for some of our events.
Nobody made some harder trivia than Billy.
Oh my God, Billy! Oh my God! Shout out to you, Billy. Shout out. But
Jen done picked up a couple notes from him because.
Hello.
If it's hard trivia at our events, no, this one made those questions. All right.
Guilty. You know, you gotta earn it. I'm sorry. You have to earn certain things in life. But you know, we want everybody to be winners at all times. So, you know, I keep that in mind. But that's how our relationship started with Billy. And that's with a lot of people, as a matter of fact, within this community. We saw opportunities. We saw moments where or skills and certain strong points in other people's followings and also what their skill sets. And we said, you know what, we need to team up. We need to let's you know, what was it say? Was it Power Rangers combine the forces or whatever? And
Mighty
come on,
Morphin.
Mighty Morphin out here, like let's come on.
And it is a community because look, we started making our flyers on PowerPoint.
Woo!
Okay,
Talk about the struggles.
okay, then
The
boom,
struggles, man.
Knickerbocker Ave came. He hit us up.
Shout
like,
out to you, Knickerbocker
come on,
Ave,
Ave,
Angel.
yeah. He saw us. He was like, because he's a graphic designer, and he saw that we were, you know, trying, but it wasn't necessarily our specialty. And he said, okay, and let me help y'all out with some graphics. And then boom, you know, it was just interactions like that that just help, you know, to build, and you know, you pour into each other's cups.
Right.
That's
It just kept us going. It kept us going. You know, people don't understand, like our counterparts, our peers within this Knicks community, and also people who support us wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
They're not in the content creator you know, stratosphere, but they just support what you do.
Mhm.
You guys keep us going.
Yes.
Seriously. If it wasn't for our community, our tribe, our village, Omni Fan doesn't exist. Like, let's be real.
That's a fact. I have like two people who like call me all the time for no reason. Like,
Because they care about you.
They just call me all the time. They always want to speak to me. And sometimes I wake up like, why are you
calling me? But you really know that it's because they care about you.
Yeah, it's real. It's real.
It's real. It's
So
real.
It's very understandable. And then that leads me into my next question. Like, has there ever been a time where like a Knicks fan approached y'all like at a watch party and it was like, damn, like you saved me, like what, like your content, what you've done for me, that's helped me so much.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, there
actually
is. We have a very special young lady to us. The wine,
Absolutely.
the longevity. Okay, we're gonna pause. Because you know,
Right.
speaking about longevity.
Okay.
Nah, this
Fact.
you know, it's all tied in because we have several people. I mean, there's several people who,
Yes.
you know, they may not come out to every event, but they've been rocking with us from day one. Even you don't even have to have rock with us from day one to have an impact on us.
Right.
But there are so many people that we have met, and there's specifically, I'm just gonna pull from one young lady she's like a sister to us now. But we met her through our brand ambassador. Shout out to Cordelia, our brand ambassador, and Jimmy, our other brand ambassador. But we met this young lady who, you know, she has a lot of struggles, things that I'm not going to divulge here. However, she tells us how much we mean to her, how much we have changed, just her outlook in life. And she's dealing with, you know, there's illnesses, there's all kinds of things. You know, she's a single mother, just out here trying to make ends meet and keep her family happy, keep her kids happy. And she says that just even coming out to our events is like it's for,
like a
for her
refuge.
mental health. It's like mental wellness. And
There's a couple people.
yeah, there are several, because not everybody comes with a +1. You know, it's those ones that come out, those single tickets that you really got to look at. I mean, we have a guy named Emmanuel. Emmanuel, shout out to you, Manny.
Emmanuel.
Yes.
Yes.
Emmanuel Frowner has come out. I mean, since he started following us, I think he's only missed one event.
Yeah.
Do you know how much that means to us? It's not, I mean, monetarily, it's like, wow, the fact that you would invest that much of your hard-earned, you know, paycheck on us means so much. But the time, yes,
energy,
and yes, all those things, it matters so much to me. I mean, there's so many people, I can't even begin to list everybody's names off.
Right, but if you've ever told us what our events mean to you, it means
that much more to us, just so you know.
Because that's why we do it.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah, man, because it be random Knicks fans, state, man, keep going.
Yes.
Post games going,
encouraging.
Man, it's therapy and stuff like that. So then that leads to my next question. And Knicks Omni Fan, you started that, and now you have the watch parties. What exactly goes into planning these watch parties? How do y'all plan them? What's your advice for planning watch parties? Shout outs to one of my OGs, Tony. Who also
shout out to Tony.
Yes, that's a real one. That's another real one.
Yeah, my paisan.
Okay, yes.
He always goes on watch parties and stuff like that. But what goes into that? Like,
I mean,
the secrets,
the secret sauce.
Yeah,
we can't give all the secret sauce.
Well, I mean, I think venue is that's one of the most important parts, because you can't have a watch party without a venue. So
it has to be the right fit though.
Right. And so what we do in the off season is, we'll hit up another Google search. We free, because there's new bars that pop up all the time. So on the off season, that's when we really go in on the research part. And we just check out the scene, see what's new. We go and visit these places, and just to catch an overall vibe and see if it's a place we'd be interested in, having a watch party. And then as you do this, you build relationships with bar owners. Shout out Mustang Harry's. They have
invested in us,
and it's always the best intentions. And they have really, they're family to us. So they're always one of Omni Fan's go-to venues for a watch party. But finding the venue is, I would say,
one of the biggest
parts.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. And then, obviously, once you do find a venue, you want to make sure that the vibe is right. Once you're there, is the food right? Is the drinks right? Is the business owner willing to work with you and make certain accommodations based on your event? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's all these questions that you have to ask yourself, and also ask the business owners. Like, how willing is this business owner to work with you? How willing are they to, make food specials, drink specials? Because one thing that makes us special,
unique,
right, is that we're foodies as well. So anything that we do that's watch party related is always going to have some kind of curated food and beverage special. And it's not just saying like, oh, we're gonna call everything the Brunson burner. No, like, we'll take our time, we'll plan a menu, with said business, and also plan some drinks out with unique ingredients, unique names, and just make people feel like they really put some thought and effort into this. Like, you never want to go anywhere. First of all, we are the customer ourselves.
Right.
So if this is not something that Jazz and I would want to go to attend, in terms of pricing, in terms of vibe, in terms of food, we're not going to do it. If we wouldn't go ourselves, we're not going to do it. So that's also, something that we heavily factor into our decision in terms of planning a watch party. Now, we've done things in private venues, we've done things in bars, and it all kind of just depends on the opportunity. All the stars align properly. You make those decisions as you see fit. But it sometimes, we've had watch parties that have taken months to plan, and we've had some watch parties that have taken a couple weeks to plan. You know what I'm saying? It all depends on the scale. The larger the scale, obviously, the more time you want to plan.
Because like when it's playoff time, you don't have much time. Because first of all, the schedule is not even dropped until maybe 5 days, a week before the games actually take place. So that was actually really trying, especially this past playoff season, because it's hard for a business to commit to, okay, you can use my venue for this date if we don't even know the date.
Right.
So those parties came together really quickly. Now, if we knew when the schedule drops and you have more time, of course that's more ideal, but you got to be fast on your feet and be able to, like I said, pivot and just make decisions based on whatever the circumstances are.
And there are moments in where your people who you've been building with. Shout out to DJ Trace. I want to just talk quickly about DJ Trace. So if you know an Omni Fan event, DJ Trace because he's our DJ. But aside from being our DJ, he's a business partner, he's our brother, he's a friend. And this man has put us in rooms with certain people that we may maybe who knows when or where or if, but he's intentionally put us in rooms with people to make certain things happen. Shout out to Bel Air, shout out to Black Bottle Boys, Sovereign Brands. He single-handedly sponsored an entire open bar event for one of our playoff watch parties, and it was one of the best ones we've ever had. And there'll be more of that to come. Like, we have big things on the horizon. No, just look out. But shout out DJ Trace. I had to shout out our brother, because he looks out for us, and that's what it's all about. It's all about being connected to people who believe in you and who want to work together. It's never a one-way street. This is all collaborative. You know what I'm saying? So,
and one last thing on this topic.
All right.
Obviously, no, because you know what? As the Knicks have, started doing better, there's watch parties happening
everywhere,
all over
the place.
You know what I'm saying? So first thing is competition is healthy. You know what I'm saying? That's number one. And number two is it doesn't necessarily, if you view it as competition, then that's how that's how beef starts. Right.
And it's just like,
but it's a community, and you can sometimes partner with people, and it just doesn't. And you can support each other.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying. Like, so yeah, just look at the whole stratosphere, as you said earlier, and just look at it as opportunities,
Yes.
not competition.
Yes.
I never try to look at it as competition. As
Good.
the people who is in the chat right now, D Block, salute State, and
Shout out.
Hey, yes.
Shout out to you, D Block. Appreciate
Yes.
you, OG. Loyalty made us ride with the team through it all. Absolutely.
Yes.
Billy tells State all the time I was State.
Right, with the unpopular opinion. Right.
Oh, ladies making this show. Shout out to you, Sal. I appreciate it.
Yes, Southside, we love it.
Yes.
Oh God. Just getting back on track.
Yeah.
Now, I gotta start asking like the tough
Okay,
questions.
let's get into
Come
it.
on, come on.
We're not scared. We're not scared.
Yo, I hate Tibbs so much, man.
Oh, not the H word. Tell us how you really feel.
I'm glad y'all two here. So
Look,
I'm sick of him, bro. And I'm sick of him.
That's
From
understandable.
the standpoint of you're running these guys into the ground. There's all top the starter 5 of the Knicks is all top 10 in minutes total.
That's crazy.
The Knicks starting 5 is averaging the most minutes since the starting 5 since 1952. That is civil rights numbers.
Not civil
that
rights.
is crazy.
I wasn't ready for that line either.
And when you have Cameron Payne in the game and he's hot, he gives you 18.
Oh my God, yes.
And you bench
him.
We all still confused.
Okay, so that got me hot last night.
So I need to know what is y'all pulse on Tibbs. Like let's
all right.
Let me get that out the way now because I don't like him. Everybody know I want him fired.
Right.
Okay. I'll let you start off.
I don't hate Tibbs. I think he is a good coach. However, I do have certain issues with some of his decisions. Number one being taking players out while they're hot. Like, just because you have a set rotation and okay, it's time for them to come out. No, if they're hot and we need and they're making baskets, let them cook. Let them cook. You know what I'm saying? Now as far as just overall minutes played, with this particular roster, I don't know if it's just a Tibbs problem, because I feel like the front office didn't necessarily provide him with the bench that would really make an impact. Now you have to understand the young guys, Tyler, he can put up numbers, and yes, they need time, they need experience on the court to grow. But I feel like we need our starters. It's like, do we want to just lose games for the sake of growing the team, or do we want to try to win? And he's making the decision to try to win. So I understand that conundrum that he's going through, but we don't have the best bench. We've traded away our good bench players. You know what I'm saying? Quick, was a great player off the bench for us, but he's in Toronto. Zay, now he's in OKC. So now we don't have those assets, and we never really replaced them with the trades.
We definitely didn't.
So what are we supposed to do? Just lose games, or he gonna play them? So that's difficult.
There was several nights ago they were speaking to Monica McNutt on the broadcast about shout out to Mo. We love you. We love you. Love. And we agree wholeheartedly with her take, which was, and again, obviously, playing, skating the fence, because obviously we're not trying to offend certain people. However, it's like, are you going to live and die by your starting 5? Like, there comes a point in time where a coach has to, surrender, and you gotta put the young guys in. How else will they grow? How else will their confidence, rise if they're not being put in real game situations, not just garbage minutes? And I do understand that, first of all, as a Knicks fan base, not everybody's gonna want to see that. We talk about, Tibbs in the minutes, he's running the guys down, this and third. But when you do start putting in Gaudier and Kolek and Huck Porty, and the turnovers start to, mount up, and the shooter percentage starts to go down, everybody's gonna be mad then, you know.
I'm gonna be more pissed off.
Exactly.
Exactly. The conundrum that he's in, but he has to be a little bit more balanced. And besides the bench, even if somebody's cooking, let them cook. Don't take them out.
That's my biggest issue.
Yes.
Like the minutes issue, because there. So there was a story that we recently heard about. You know, Tibbs being, coaching for the Bulls back in the day when Luol Deng was, and he ran him to the ground.
Ran him to the ground. Yes, exactly. Put him in the hospital at the end of the season.
And so, that's like kind of
diabolical, man.
Now, I guess he's grown as a coach from then also.
I give him that.
But
but it's wild though. You know what I'm saying?
It's wild and low key. I mean, like even Cat as right now and Jalen Brunson, every game he's questionable or probable. He's never just like boom gonna be playing. Like it's been since early on this season that Jalen Brunson has been a for sure bet. Like obviously we know he's a for sure.
Yeah, he's still day to day. He was questionable because of this
exactly shoulder. Yeah, and now we have Cat, who now is playing with a chipped bone in his finger. Is that it? Like
I can't see that playing out well long term, but I guess we'll just see how it plays out. But
so I don't like the fact that we are overplaying our guys. I mean, we have Mikal Bridges, who he played the most minutes the other night in Philly, I believe it was, and this was 555th consecutive NBA game. He has not missed one. Shout out to you, Kels.
Come on,
Kels with the crazy attendance.
Iron Man, like
you that guy. You that guy.
I crap on him all the time, but that's elite.
And you wonder, but you wonder why sometimes the shots ain't dropping because they tired. They ain't got no legs.
On the spaghetti. On the spaghetti. It's hard.
Like, because specifically last night we were keeping up with Minnesota, even though they were shooting lights out, but we were keeping up with them
until 6
then
minutes.
We went
fourth.
Just that was dry. It. And then I remember there was one 3-point shot that OG took, and he just had no legs. And then Clyde was like, "Oh yeah, yes,
it was flat."
Completely flat. And then you wonder, why they don't have no legs? Because they're tired. Like you said, they're playing the most minutes in the entire NBA. Like
they've ever played in their career, and they're not getting any younger. However, listen, I mean, there are positives and there are drawbacks to playing all these minutes. It's also, in my opinion, strengthening like this mental fortitude, like it's making them tougher. It's making them like have to step to the plate, and that's exactly what we saw in Julius Randle. I'm going, last night. Shout out to you, Jew. Because you know what? He played for us, and he was our franchise player when nobody else wanted to be.
Nobody else was interested.
And this was before Jalen Brunson came on deck. You know what I'm saying? No, you're not perfect. Nobody is. And people need to realize that and give people some grace. Like, he's a human being and he has so much pressure on his shoulders. However, all right, whatever. Shout out to you, Drew. You came through and he stepped up to the plate. But look at now. Look at him in Minnesota. I mean, last night he had 8 points and bare turnovers.
He was 0 for 3. I mean, he was 0 for 2 at one point in the game, and the Knicks was down 17.
Right, exactly. So my point is that the Knicks, like, being on this team is pushing guys to their, to be their greatest. I mean, Cat is putting up, he's like second in rebounds in the league.
Right. And Dante last season.
Best
numbers of his career.
Yes. And shout out to that man, Josh Hart. Oh my God. First of all, so we've been going to the games a lot, very recently. I mean, we were always at games, but we've been sitting. We had decent seats for the past several games, and just seeing the way this man hustles up close,
is like it's crazy.
It's different. It's inspiring.
Yeah,
because there's no ego whatsoever. He's literally just in it for the team.
Right.
Or win. He don't care what he has to do. He doesn't care how he has to sacrifice his body, his stats, none of that. It's just get the ball in the hoop, recover the ball for rebounds, steals, assists, like whatever it is, whatever needs to be done. Just doing it. He's doing the intangibles. That's why I love Josh Hart. Love it.
Can we stay on Josh Hart?
Let's.
On the Josh Hart topic real quick.
Yeah.
He's top 5 in Knicks history in triple doubles right now. With 11, past Julius Randle a couple games ago.
Wow.
Also averaging 30 plus minutes again this season. Takes all the criticism from me and people when we're on Twitter saying don't post another roommates podcast or I'm gonna curse you the hell out. How do you feel about people when we say take Josh Hart out the starting lineup so we can have a win coming off the bench, or it's just almost by default you have to keep him there because of he's giving you a career high in assists, career high in rebounds. He's giving you the prototypical point forward kind of season. For example, Andre Iguodala, Lamar Odom, so many point forwards. But how do you feel about that and just Josh Hart overall this season and what he's brought to the Knicks? And y'all did say y'all was at a couple of games too, so you're watching Josh Hart on the sideline. Is he bringing guys together on the sideline? Is he talking to dudes? What is his like mannerisms and things that
he's definitely all for the team. Like what I constantly see him doing is just reassuring, letting guys know like, yo, I got you. What's this? Hero. What up to you, E? But Josh is just a team player, and while I don't necessarily see him like huddling guys up together, what you do is you see him on the sidelines, or as they call timeouts, he's grouping up with a guy. He's like, "Yo, we gotta do this X, Y, Z." Right. They're constantly talking, constant communication. Yeah. He and Jalen have a special bond, and it's evident on the court. They joke, they play, but on the court is business, and you see that. You see that. So, I wouldn't say Josh is necessarily like a captain status in terms of uniting, but he communicates, and his basketball IQ is so freaking sky high. Like,
and you constantly see
it
him
rubs off.
Court.
And he's always
even
talking.
If, like within the possessions while the game is active, like in play, you see Josh. Like you always see him talking, signaling. Like you always see him just being an active part. And I mean, as far as the bench versus starting position, I do think him starting was a matter of circumstances. We were down a couple guys. Even now, Mitch has been injured, so I do think if we had Mitch, I think that Josh probably would be coming off the bench because then Cat would be able to. Yeah.
Hold on. So you think Cat is a 4?
But that's his natural position that he was playing in Minnesota. So let him go back to the 4, Mitch at the 5, OG right then, and then we got Mikal and Jalen. Then boom, we have Josh coming off the bench, and I think that will be a great boost to our bench numbers. So if I had it my way and Mitch could stay healthy, that's how I would organize my lineup. But Mitch has been out. We don't even know when he's coming back.
Right. Well, there's that.
So but he has the starting potential though.
Yeah, and the good thing about our roster is that there's so much flexibility, like with in terms of interchanging positions, that we have that we can do that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we can start Cat at the 4, and eventually he could end up playing the 5 at certain points. Depending on certain matchups. Like I feel like all those are technicalities that don't need to be studied too hard in terms of who's playing what position. But we need to look at what the best unit is going to be for the scenario in the game, like real game time, shit. And so I do feel like having Josh, I love Josh as a starter. It wouldn't mean it's not a demotion.
No, you know what I'm saying? He's probably going to put up the same numbers
and really have like 6-man potential, like on some real shit. Like granted, he's a starter. He has starter. We already see what he brings every single night in, night out. However, imagine if we had that energy, right? That tenacity every night coming off the bench, leading that unit would be crazy.
Right. Remember last season when it was?
Yes, I do.
When it was Josh and Quick coming off the bench.
Quick, yes.
Like, come on! Like, this is why we say, oh, we're deep. That's because we had depth. We
had it, and then there was I miss Isaiah Hartenstein. I just want to put that out there. I miss you, Zay. I know.
So then now that lines up with the next question.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the OG trade? Because Paper Man, I call OG Paper Man.
We call him Big Bang.
Big Bang. That's Big Bang.
Big Bang, take a little bang.
So Paper Man, when you make $200 million, you can't average under 17 points per game.
I mean, I feel you on that.
That's not logical. That's not possible.
I feel you on that.
You need to average at least 20 points per. If you can't average that, then you got to get me a Defensive Player of the Year award or something.
Right. That's right. You have to make up for it.
Something with OG, something ain't there. I compound it with this. I don't like the OG and Mikal pairing. I'm telling you, all right, I don't like it at all.
Now, what don't you like about it, though?
It feels like pancakes with salt.
Ooh, okay.
Like it don't mix.
Oil and water.
Yeah, it don't. It don't.
I feel like they're good defensively.
Good defense. Who they stopped in the past couple
I
weeks?
mean,
Okay, so
well,
I'll say
first of all,
this.
OG has had several blocks.
OG,
over the
yes,
past
but
several games.
Mikel's defense
But
has been lacking.
It leaves a little bit to be desired.
Because I mean, the 3-point shots, they just been raining threes on us all season.
Yes, but that's but that ain't this.
But he's a
season's
wing
problem.
though.
But that's not only
with
the season's
long
problem. Though.
arms.
I mean, I agree with that, but that's not only the season's problem. We have, I mean, consistently been terrible defending the 3-pointer for the past 3 seasons specifically. I mean, last season I was like, so we just gonna leave everybody open. And again, this season, last season's issues followed us this season. Who is defending the 3?
But it's supposed to be really OG and Mikel because you know what I'm saying. Yeah, all right. Yeah, these days centers are taking threes. You know what I'm saying. But those are our defensive specialists supposed to be.
Yeah, the 3 needs to be defended better.
So that's a good point that you bring up. As you know, when the trade first happened, you know, all right. So everybody that knows us knows that we love RJ Barrett.
Right.
We call him that's our nephew. You know what I'm saying? That broke our hearts.
And quick too.
Right.
That's Godson and nephew. Godson and nephew.
Right.
What's up?
You know.
I was in Ghana when that happened.
Ooh.
I crashed out.
Okay.
I love that for you.
Yeah, crashed out. We were like, no.
I
was against it. I was like, no, we lost this trade. Right. But boom. Then we had that month of January. And we were like, oh, okay. Well, you know what? Maybe it was a good situation for you know, all players involved. You know, Quick gonna be able to get his starting position. RJ, he's back home in Toronto, and you know he had the passing of his brother, so I do think that he was meant to be back in Toronto, back home with his family at that time. And then on the Knicks front, we saw the potential that OG truly had and how he could impact wins.
Absolutely,
and
right, and let's not act like in the beginning of the season specifically. OG, I mean, even when we acquired him, OG has impacted wins substantially. We are a better team with OG on the floor, like hands down.
True.
But our issue now is size. We need size. We need that big defensive presence in the paint, and we have it when Cat is playing. We have it 100%. But when he's not on the floor, we are vulnerable. We're looking real vulnerable, butt naked out here in this world.
Right.
Would you trade Mitch right now to get help right now, or you keeping Mitch and you just believe in him?
Okay, so I'll say it right now. I'm gonna go on the record and say I would trade Mitch right now, and I love Mitch too.
But only for another big, Yeah,
it gotta be another big.
Like another guy
they were talking about. What's the guy?
Jonas Valanciunas.
Yeah, I would make that move because you know what? He's healthy, and my issue with Mitch is this. Well, I have a couple issues, but number one, it's the conditioning. Like, bro, how many seasons? It's been 7 seasons now?
6. Yeah.
6 going up to 7.
Yeah, I think this would be a 7th season if we ever get to see him play.
Exactly. We can't continue to pour into you if we are not getting any ROI on what we're putting into you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to feel your presence,
right?
And it's annoying, feel it, and it's a little annoying. And I know that people had this issue with Julius Randle last season, but why are you hardly ever on the bench? Where's the support? All right, whatever. Boom. That's petty though, but that's a personal issue. I don't necessarily think that But on top of that, then what irks me is I can't stand when people. And I know that they're people, they're human. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And they're young.
Yeah.
So sometimes the control, like the self-control, it's not present. But why must you feed into, the controversy on Twitter, on Instagram? Why are you responding to certain comments? Like, just be professional. Like,
that sound like Eru.
Like, come on,
over it.
I'm over it.
Even when Julius this past summer, right when one of them pages said, "Oh, there's no Julius Randle jerseys for sale at MSG." Like, first of all, that was bogus. And then, but for Julius to respond to that, it's like, bro, like, you're professional. Why are you adding fuel to the fire?
Shout out to Juju. He wanted out of the Knicks since last May. Because
then you know what? You got your wish. That's all I can say. Because we don't want anybody who don't want to be with us. Like, that's the facts. Like,
he felt this. No, honestly,
disrespected. How?
That right.
How?
He took 2 pay cuts back-to-back seasons.
So has Jalen Brunson. So what you saying? And he's the captain.
He's
the franchise player. Like, what you saying? What you saying? What are you on? Like, it's about sacrifice. If you want this chick, what are you willing to do to get it? Is it about you? Is it about self? Is it about money? What is it about?
Right.
Oh, okay. Because people's priorities are on they're out there.
Yeah, they show themselves.
We already know what Jalen Brunson's heart is. He's not having his best season. He's having a great season, but it's not his best season. It's not the JB that we got accustomed to. He's been a little bit turnover prone. His free throws ain't been dropping the way he needs to. His shooting percentage is not where it needs to be. But there's room, listen. One thing that we said, because Julius had a little slump when he had a new baby. I think it may be because those late nights, daddy duties and things, perhaps. But I think that Jalen will get it together post All-Star break. I'm not worried about Jalen because at the end of the day, I know that his mind is in the right place. Right. Like, even if his shot's not falling.
He's not for self. He's for team.
Never for self.
Shout out to Jalen Brunson.
Shout out to JB, the captain. Let's go.
In the chat, Tony Crow. Shout out to Tony Crow. Black Shout out to Tony Crow. Appreciate you. Knicks loyalty. Mitch medical woes hamper us from seeing our best.
It's a fact. It's a fact.
Because when he's healthy, we see the greatness that he's bringing.
Not only see it, you feel it because it comes in the form of wins.
That's definitely true.
Yeah, man.
Going down. We don't need another creator on offense. Mikal still isn't being used correctly. Plus, Kolek is on the bench. I agree with
Kolek needs to get more minutes.
Yeah, well, they just called up Huck Porty and Kolek from Westchester.
Well, because we need it.
I think he's gonna see more playing time.
I hope so.
Hey girls.
Hey.
Hey, what's up, Skills? Appreciate you for tuning in. Appreciate you.
Yes.
Get us some athletic wings. Teams have length, and we can't match it.
Yeah.
I agree to disagree. I feel like Thibodeau's a maniac. He needs to play Pacome Daddy. That's a story for another day. Y'all know about Pacome Daddy.
I love that. We love Daddy.
Yes, same page. Trade Mitch for another big. My only beef with the trade Mitch people, and I would trade Mitch too. Mm-hmm. I love Mitch. I fought Eru for years.
We love Mitch too. I'm saying this, and it hurts my heart to say this. Right? Like, trust me, he's one of our homegrown guys.
Yeah, I love Mitch.
We love him. We love him. But I'm sorry. Like, how long can we wait?
For me, it's the urgency. Like,
yes,
my birthday's next week Thursday. Turning 35, and
wow,
I've watched Leon Rose since I was in my 20s. And it's time. I don't want to wait no more for a championship.
Right.
And Mitchell Robinson, if you're not healthy now, I would rather swap him out now, and instead of just waiting. Because I don't want to waste Brunson.
How much longer?
We wasted Carmelo Anthony.
Hello, right. And we don't want to waste Cat either, because even though he's putting up some of his best numbers of his career,
he's a little injury prone too.
He's 9-10 years in. You know what I'm saying? And then his size, his position, you don't see them last for more than 15 years is as long as I've ever really seen a big man. I mean,
the bigs they have different issues.
Different wear and tear. Yeah, different wear and tear because you're banging bodies all night long. Shout out to Tony, Jen and Jan. Yeah, let's go. You're ready.
Hey, what's up, Tony? Appreciate you, man. Shout out to my bro. Appreciate you, Tony, for tuning in. Yeah. Brunson was the new dad. Daddy Slump.
Hilarious. I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Eric.
Eric, man, appreciate you for tuning
in.
Tony, Knicks gonna maintain until the All-Star.
Yeah.
Mitch come back and watch the difference. Lift off. Tony said it.
I hope there will be a difference. If we stick with Mitch, and whenever he does come back, we will see a difference.
I agree with that. I just need him to, and first of all,
stay healthy through the
wait. Can we? Still, I just want to take this moment to say, fuck Embiid. Oh my God! Excuse my language, but he's the reason why Mitch is in the predicament as
that's the fact, though.
You know what I'm saying? His dirty
Embiid. He lost all respect for me after that game, and we were there in Philly for that game.
Saw that live.
We saw all 4 of his flagrant fouls. Okay, they only called 1. Okay, but we saw them all.
Disgusting, and I'm still scarred. I still got beef. Right. What's up? Lucky he didn't play the other night because he would have gotten that. He would have gotten that fire.
That Jen and Jazz
fire.
Jen
and Jazz heat. You ain't ready.
I'm still mad at him.
I mean, he lost all respect. He lost all respect for me.
And you know why it makes me mad? Because I always try to blame Tibbs for everything. I have this, thing where like just blame Tibbs and it just sounds logical. Even with Mitch, Thibodeau put him back in that playoff series, and he was limping across the court.
He wasn't 100%, but he was still giving us some efficiency.
But one thing I'll say about Mitch is that even though he is injury prone, he does try to play through his injuries.
He does.
Like, you'll think he's down, and then he'll come back limping.
But he's still out there on the boards, and he's still out there blocking shots, and that's that Willis Reed in him. He got a little bit of that in him because you see him out there, and you'll see him limping. But then it does become, as a coach, when do you make the executive decision, even if the player is saying, "Yeah, nah, coach, I could do it." Because Cat is a perfect example.
Exactly.
Like now you got a chip bone.
Right.
I gotta ask y'all this question. Have y'all met any current Knicks player? Who's the coolest? 1 and 2. Talk to me about Deuce McBride. He's been one of the longest tenured Knicks. And also shout out to Deuce McBride because he sent shout out to my sis Riri. He sent her a nice message.
That's what's up.
And also,
that's what's up.
One of the things about Deuce McBride, out of his last 8 and 9 games, he's been single digits in points.
No, I hadn't. I realized that.
That's good though because he's off of an injury. You know what I'm saying? And I like. Let me tell you something. We already know we're human beings, and sometimes it takes you a second to get back in your rhythm. But what I've seen since he's been back is just tenacity. He's not scared.
He's never scared.
You got it. If you're gonna miss, fucking miss.
Right.
But take the shot if you're open.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If it's a good shot, take it.
Yeah, that's Deuce though. Because I don't know if you remember when he was 3rd string and they would put him in. Boom, you pass Deuce and he has an open shot. He's taking the shot. It doesn't matter that he's not warmed up. Exactly.
That's how he got the name.
Never scared. Never scared.
Never scared. And so, we have met several of the current Knicks players. The coolest that we could say. I mean,
well, they're not on the team now, but but Zay and RJ and Quick, they've personally shown us the most love, and even Obi showed us love too. So we got a lot of new guys on the team, so we're still trying to make our mark. So they could know who Jen and Jazz, so they could know who Jen and Jazz are. Like it's not
even about Jen and Jazz, it's about Omni. To be honest.
Yeah, but when we're there. And we do add to the atmosphere. I'm sorry.
Talk your shit.
Yeah, but RJ, Quick, Zay, and Obi definitely
they were like And then DSJ back in the day was super cool. Shout out to you, Dennis.
Yeah, me too.
Mitch has also been cool with us.
Yeah, RJ actually wore some of our Knicks Omni Fan wristbands in the games.
Yeah, at one point in time. Yeah. And then currently though, Mikal Bridges is he's just a super nice, like a good kid. He's a good kid. It's a good kid right there. Now he's a good kid. Listen.
The problem with
like
the Knicks now,
though,
they got too many good kids.
Yeah, we need some.
Wait.
No.
Scruffy big.
But they're not soft though.
They're not soft.
Though. I thought, when we traded Jew and we got Cat originally, it was but Cat's not soft. He ain't soft.
All right, he's not soft, but to your point, you talking Marcus Morris type shit, aren't you?
Yeah, like they too
talking
that
that like Julius, that Dante DiVincenzo, like that makes people like fear. Like, first of all, don't play with me.
Yes,
it's that don't play with me mentality. Like that Oak, that Anthony Mason, like don't play with me. Don't try to come see me because you're gonna be sorry that you did. So I get what you're talking about in terms of that toughness, in terms of the way that competitors view you. Yeah, they're not soft. Yeah, they're tough. Yeah, they're playing through injuries. Yes, they're doing what needs to be done, putting up those numbers when they're on the court. However, I do know what you're saying in terms of that unspoken toughness element that we did lose a little bit of when we lost Julius and Dante.
In the current league, yes, with teams that got this, they all bad boy or whatever.
Soft.
Who's taking a chip with these bad boys?
Because you see what happened up in Memphis. Because you saw what happened in Memphis.
Self-implosion.
Right down the gutter.
Self-implosion. Okay.
Like leave the streets in the streets. That's what they're trying to tell. That's what they're trying to say. The league is changing. Mm-hmm. It's like
and the league is soft.
The league is soft. We're the 3-point shooting league. Back in the day, it was in the hole. It was a big man's league. Take it to the hole in the paint,
and you're gonna think twice.
Especially when it comes to the Knicks. Stop playing.
You're going to the bad boy Pistons, Eddie.
Woof.
You had to think twice.
They were next level.
Maybe even 3 times.
I just don't want to be like the 90s Knicks fans. That's my one fear.
You don't want to be like the 90s Knicks fans? Now, what was wrong with 90s Knicks fans?
No. All right.
Don't stop
What
that.
are you talking to? Do whatever.
All right, that came off wrong.
No, it's okay.
Oh God, that was. So what I mean by that is,
What had happened was
so Thibodeau,
you
you got a first round exit. Didn't make the playoffs the next season. You know, second round exit.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like 90s Knicks fan stuff right there. Right?
Oh, the disappointment and like always thinking, oh, this is our year. Like every year's our year type shit.
Yeah, but I never thought
that
it was our year. I mean, like I still even if we had kept our same team, I would say we would have stood a chance for this year. I don't feel like this is gonna necessarily be our year. We still need more development, you know, as a team. I don't feel like it's our year. Granted,
as it stands,
right? Who knows what can happen, you know? But I never felt when we went. Yeah, we were just hyped to be in the playoffs. I never thought it was our year.
Right.
So is the expectation too high?
I'm gonna say there's a because
that's a good point.
But there's reality,
mm-hmm.
and then there's you know your hopes and dreams, which
right
you have to work towards. You have to have something to work towards. You have to have a vision. You gotta have a dream that you're working towards. It doesn't mean that you know just because you had success in one year that you're gonna achieve that particular dream or that particular goal.
Right.
However, you're continuing to work towards that goal, and so I don't think there's anything wrong with being hopeful and knowing that you're putting in the work to get to the next level. However, as it stands right now, this year is not said year for the Knicks. I thought first of all, I thought that Mitch would be back by December or at least January.
Hey, goddamn, how many goddamn years y'all want me to wait for it?
But now that is
what the hell is going on here?
I know, but
I gotta wait till I'm 50 years old.
But let me tell you something,
right?
This as it stands right now at this stage in the season, this
we
right now,
we're not championship caliber team.
We're not
losing to the Pistons. Now,
I
know that they better.
The Magic,
they're better, but they're still. Where are they in the
exactly?
East?
And let's talk about the Magic without look with the two brothers. Then they have without Pablo Banchero, and we lost. We're losing to teams that we should not lose to.
I agree with that.
Championship teams don't do that.
But you can be a championship
team
and have a long.
Yes, you could. Yes, you could. But it's not just one night, though.
Exactly. That's
the problem.
It's not.
It's a trend.
This is probably one of my most frustrating teams to watch. Like,
this year,
one night they play like a championship
team. Absolutely.
The next night they play
like
the worst
team in the league.
Yeah, it's a lack of consistency.
They're back to doing. Yeah, trust me.
It's a lack of consistency.
So who do you tie that to? Like, is that a
it's a team thing.
Yeah,
it's not just one. You can't just blame the coach. You can't just blame the captain.
One player.
You can't just blame the guy. You can't blame Jericho Sims. No, you have to look at everybody. Everybody has to do better. What we have seen so far this season is that if Cat is not in the game, our chances of losing are extremely high, and that's problematic. But it tells the tale of the story. We don't have depth in that number one in that position, number one, or on the bench. If we don't have guys that can pick up the slack when other guys are either out or having a bad game, we will not win consistently.
Because injuries are going to be there.
Exactly. You got to play through this stuff. That's what sets great teams and good teams apart. Because when you don't have a full roster, you rely on the other guys. All right, maybe it's not a guy with 50 points a night or 40 points. No, but it's 15, it's 20 there, it's 18 there. Like it's a full team.
Yeah.
Contribution.
I do give the Magic props in the fact that no matter how many, every couple weeks there was another one of their star players going down, and they still stayed competitive. They stayed competitive. Now they got Banchero back, and who knows what their trajectory is, for the rest of the season. You know what I'm saying? So, to Jen's point, if you don't have the depth and you don't have players that can step up when other guys go down, you're not going to win a championship.
Period. Like there's no need to even, go back and forth on that point because it just is what the fuck it is.
it'd be tough for me though, because when y'all say this year is not the year, so should I be more patient? Because you gave up 7 first-round picks to put this roster together. You give OG Anunoby $200 million. You traded Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo for Karl Anthony Towns. Now, what I'm seeing in year 5 is the same comic book story that I've seen the previous 4 years.
Yeah, I feel you
so
on
now
that.
The previous 4 years, each and every single season, we had a season-ending injury because of Thibodeau. I'm blaming Thibodeau because he played these guys too many minutes. So now the COVID season, Mitchell Robinson, he overplayed Mitchell Robinson at the end of his season, and we had
every injury.
We had 4-finger Nerlens. Yeah, 4-finger Nerlens.
Shout out to
We had 4-finger Nerlens. Then the very next year, okay, cool. Randall went crazy.
But then he got injured in the playoffs.
Right. And then everybody, that's the only thing that everybody remembers of Julius Randle's, career. Well, as a Knick, tenure as a Knick was that he was unavailable in the playoffs. And yeah, unfortunately, that's just the way the cookie crumbled with him. But I'll just say this.
Okay.
I'm not saying that this year is not our year, definitively. But as it stands right now,
it doesn't appear.
But if we continue to play the way that we're playing, which is inconsistently, if we don't either one give our bench a time to thrive and shine, or acquire somebody else, it won't be our year. But I'm not saying that things can't change. Things can change. Right. And that's what us as a fan base. That's what makes us. People call us gluttons for punishment, but we still have hope at the end of the day. Hope is what drives so many things in life. But you have to have hope. We always have hope.
Yes. And then now hope bench unit. Precious Achiuwa, Cameron Payne.
Oh, Chewy.
All right, yeah. So, Cam, I love his energy when he comes off the bench. We got him on a 1-year deal, right?
Right.
So who knows if he'll be back, next year. Precious, while I do appreciate what he brings to the court, he's not a 5. So every time he plays the 5, we could probably count it that we're gonna lose. You know what I'm saying?
He's not a 5.
So while he's good, I feel like he's not being used properly just because of the lack of
our lack of inventory. Our lack of player inventory that we have. We're using guys in ways that OG nor Precious are 5. I'm sorry. You can use them like that for one game and see how far you get. But guess what? Consistently, you're gonna see we're not going far at all.
Right.
Because these guys are too small.
Yeah.
And while they're strong for their positions, they ain't 5s. Just not.
You saw how that played out.
I mean, even last night, which was sweet to see, because I feel like our guys need to start creating more opportunities for themselves. Like specifically Jericho Sims. Shout out to Jericho Sims.
I love Jericho, but
oh, you do?
Yeah, get him out of
here. That's an unpopular opinion.
Oh,
okay. I can't even go on the record and say that right now.
However, matter of fact, I say I wouldn't be surprised if he's the person that survives trade deadline.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if he survives, and I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't. Let's just put it that way. I'm not surprised if he's we already know that he is part of trade discussions. I'm not surprised. And the reason being is because Jericho's ceiling, we call him Jerry, by the way, shout out Jerry. His ceiling is crazy because Jericho has first of all, the conditioning, he has the size, and he has, in my opinion, the drive. He's moldable, and he'll take the notes. But what he's lacking is confidence. And when you don't have confidence, all those other things kind of get muddy because, you see the second guessing. You see when he gets the ball and he's maybe 5 feet from the basket, you looking to pass it. Go hard to the freaking hole. What are we doing here, Jerry? I need you to show that you are not to be messed with. Like, come on, Jerry. I need you to do that. Hook shots he took last night, he missed them both. That's not your game. That's not your shot.
No, but we want to see him. We want to see him take more shots.
I want to see him take more shots, but not those. Not hook shots.
I'll take some missed baskets, but I just want to see him try to score.
Yes, and same thing with Precious, because again last night they both tried to make some shots for themselves that were kind of
outside of their normal game,
right? Which is okay. Like, I'm all right. Let me tell you something. If I saw Tibbs put in the bench for decent minutes, I'm not talking about premier minutes, but decent minutes. All right, maybe we'll probably have to be down in this scenario, but not down by more than 15, 20.
Right.
All right. And I'm talking about not with 2 minutes to go in the game. But if you put our guys in, our bench in, let's say we still lose the game, fine. But I want to see us building that talent that we have. That's been, I mean, for the longest time, we would keep the bench on. I mean, literally, they were dormant. Like, do we still have a pulse? Are they alive? Like,
right.
Come on, get my guys' blood going, get them in the game, let them get their confidence up. Because what happens is these guys, when they go on other teams who, are more, who have a different culture, basketball culture, they turn into Nick killers.
They get their wings and they're able to do what they were.
But why can't we do that here? Why can't we hone that talent here?
It's a different system.
Mentality, actually.
It's fans, but
partly. Well,
because I my OG, shout out to OG Jermaine. I think he probably knows Jermaine. He knows y'all. Jermaine, light skinned dude.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, events with his wife. And
really?
Like that. Yeah.
Okay, then shout out to you, Jermaine.
Yeah.
OG, he like, yo, man. Listen, when it comes to the New York Knicks and it comes to like fans like you, y'all just gotta be even killed, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm not always even killed.
Yeah, you're people, and you don't have to be. You know what I mean?
So
you gotta be.
I think the element that I be missing from when it comes to me judging Knicks players is that they're human as well, but also that I want to win.
Yeah, right. They want to too, though. Don't think that they don't want to.
I don't think they want to all the time, because if they did, and this is where I question Jalen Brunson and those guys. Like, I respect
Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
Oh, unpopular opinion, hot take. Let's hear this.
I respect like the roommates podcast and stuff, but I don't respect it. I don't like when NBA players do podcasts
during the season.
So I would agree with that whole. And it's not even about the roommates versus this one. If you are an active player, I feel like all that other stuff is noise. It's noise. It's distracting. I agree with that. I agree with that take.
Yeah, because we were actually saying that just a couple games ago. Like, okay, your focus seems to be, you don't seem to be the most locked in, right? Locked in. So is it the podcast? Is there other, things going on, at home or whatever the case may be, but definitely if you're an active NBA player, I agree. It's noise to be worried about playing, but then, I got my podcast schedule and things like that. So
yeah, it's just, but it's a different day. All right. So let's just be real in terms of just the way that, times are changing.
Yeah.
Podcasts are here to stay. They ain't going nowhere.
Nope.
Okay. And active players, Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart are two players that don't necessarily need the revenue or whatever that's coming from, although you know what, who knows, who might have said it, but they don't need. But
they don't need
right. It would appear that they wouldn't need it. But it's another stream of revenue for their families to provide. Like, I know.
Come on, they got endorsement deals. They don't need that money. I mean, look at Paul George too. You know what I'm saying?
But it's also setting themselves up for the future.
I don't feel
you got to look at it long term. That's how they're looking at it. I know
and that's fine. You can do that in the off season.
Yeah.
I mean,
do that when it's.
I see both sides, but I do.
They want to be on vacation in the off season and do.
Right.
No.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think it's valid. I think it's valid to not want your. Specifically, not sure. I mean, listen, if Deuce McBride or if Dottie had a podcast, I wouldn't care.
Right.
But Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart, two of our holes in the podcast. Are you in the hole? Like, come on. I need y'all locked in at all times. But is that fair for us to say?
I mean, maybe not.
Yes. Yes. You're damn right. How much money people? Yes.
I mean,
hell yeah. Yo,
you know what?
I think the most disingenuous thing is if Jalen and Hart is going to continuously do this podcast nonsense during the season,
they got to talk about some real shit.
You're going to have to give Knicks fans tickets. You're going to have to make sure you share their posts.
Now, Josh does that.
He does pour into the
well, Jalen needs to act more like a captain and do it more. No,
Jalen is different.
No.
No, I would agree with you on that. I would like to see Jalen pour a little bit more into the fan base.
Yes, I agree.
I do know that he does appreciate overall the fan base, but I would like to see him pour more into the actively into the fan base as well.
Shouldn't be Josh Hart giving away you the captain,
right? No,
I know, but they have
agree
different
with you on that,
personalities.
though.
Listen, I would love to see that, but they have different personalities. They have different. Listen, JB's a different type of guy. Like Josh Hart is more with the shits. He's out in the streets. He's hearing what's going on Twitter. He's outside with the people. Not to say that Jalen Brunson isn't, but however, don't you want a guy who is not concerned with all that other stuff? All right, granted, all right, the podcast you want to be critical of it, fine.
True.
But that's in his mind a job. See, one thing about Jalen Brunson is that he's professional at all times. Yeah. And he's treating everything like a job. That's what you want from your top dog. You want your top dog to be like, nah, all right, he's cool. But we've met him a couple of times at these player meet and greets. He's so nice. He's nice.
And meanwhile, Josh Hart has never been at one.
He ain't never been at one. So that's interesting, right?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So he's really an asshole.
It's just, I wouldn't say that now.
We're putting words in our mouth. However,
I don't know how the organization picks who comes out to those meet and greet things.
But it's just something to be noted. Like,
shout out to Josh, man.
But they in the trenches. That they are in the trenches. They just have different ways of showing it. Trust me. And Jalen Brunson's way of showing it. Not that this is not Josh's, because he's outside. They'll be in dogs on the court. But Jalen Brunson has more pressure on his shoulders than anybody. Like Cat has a lot of pressure on his shoulders too. But in terms of Jalen Brunson's role as the captain on his team, he has the most pressure. Yeah, because
JB got more haters than Cat anyway.
And that's also true because, again, he plays a totally different position.
And everybody's like, he's small.
And they all have his card now. But now they're doubling him up, and JB's not getting the looks that he used to get before. They slept on him. Right. He ain't slept on anymore.
Right.
And so it's JB is he's facing different challenges than he ever has as an NBA player because now they got your
tape
card.
Is out there. Right. Remember how I said earlier, being able to pivot is critical?
Gotta pivot. Just like the way Ant was talking about, like, yo, he's doubling me. I can't even get open. This is not fun. Like, what? MJ would never.
Right.
First of all.
Right.
But all right. Boy, pivot. Stop playing.
Right.
Use that greatness that you have.
You gotta be dynamic out here. You can't just have one or two, tricks. You gotta have a whole bag full of tricks.
I have a bag, honey, and get to the bag.
Nah, it's crazy because this current Knicks team, like Jalen Brunson, clean, blue collar, Josh Hart, clean, blue collar. You
Mikal.
got Cat.
Yep, blue collar.
Blue collar. Clean.
I know what you mean by that, though. I know.
I would even call them. It's like white collar.
Ooh. I mean, tight though. Tight. I feel like blue collar is like the Mitch. Mitch is blue collar.
Yeah, it's like more grit. And
yeah,
not that they don't, but they're more like everybody say, oh, they're such good guys, and they're so professional, which is what you want. But it's more like I would say white collar as opposed to blue collar. But sorry, not to. But white collar works because look at Golden State. Right.
Absolutely.
The only blue collar dude was Draymond really on that team.
Right.
Yeah, Draymond,
but the rest of them. Tight. OD. Right. OD. That's a fact. But the rest of them were white collar up the wazoo. Yeah. I mean, you can't get more white collar than the Golden State freaking Warriors.
But where do you find that balance? So this is why.
Well, Celtics white collar too.
Yes, but I feel like Jalen Brown.
I think Drew Holiday cursed people out.
No
way. I've never seen that part of him in any Celtics game.
That's why.
And I ain't never seen. I don't think on the court, he's not necessarily. He's a good player, but he's not somebody that you fear. Like how we were talking about. Like he's good. You know what I'm saying? But he doesn't.
Josh Hart is blue collar.
It's still that fear. Okay, maybe Josh. I'll give Josh blue collar. But Mikal and Jalen definitely white collar.
I need the firm definition.
That's a fact too. In terms of the not like I don't like our pressure. Like we don't stick guys that need to be stuck. Like I see teams pressing us full court press, like as soon as we inbound.
Oh my God, yes.
What? Why don't we ever do that?
We don't do that.
Why don't we ever do that? I don't understand.
And Tibbs is supposed to be this defensive. Like, how come we not?
Why are we not pressing?
Where's our full court press?
Come on now.
But that's Tibbs though.
But that irks me. That irks me.
Yeah,
it's funny because Tibbs, he's running a drop back coverage. A lot of teams run drop back coverage.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if the players are quitting on him. I don't know if
they're not quitting on him.
I don't know.
It could be those minutes played.
So this is what's crazy about this year's Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
There's games where I literally watched and I said the Knicks is quitting on him. There's games where I literally watched and I said this looks like a championship.
I don't know if I've ever necessarily said they quitting
on
him.
Which game was it?
They might have quit on themselves.
We got embarrassed.
Right.
We was down like 71-37. That's the game I say, they quit it on.
Okay, but every team is entitled to a real bad. Like, listen, we've seen the championship teams go like take 40-point losses.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get the doozies here and there. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't necessarily say, and you're entitled to your opinion. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's perspective is going to be different, as to what the source of why all things are. I just feel like some days guys just don't have it. They're tired. They might even giving up on themselves, but I don't think they have opted out of Tibbs' system, because if that happens, we're in freaking trouble.
Yeah, I would.
And they have not. They have not opted out of Tibbs' system yet.
Why not? So like, why not though? Like, what
because
about?
you can literally
because you know why? If they give up on Tibbs, they give up on themselves, because that's your coach right now,
right?
Like, you literally have no other choice. Like, you obviously. I mean, it should be a collaborative environment, or at least an open door policy where guys can come in and speak their minds, and if there's adjustments that need to be made, that hopefully Tibbs will consider, specifically the starting fives opinions. But if you opt out, especially at this stage in the season,
you can't.
You're looking to crash and burn. You're looking to crash and burn. And these guys are not trying to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but also though, if you listen to some of the interviews from former players that are played under Tibbs, they highly respect him. I don't know. I can't speak for Luol Deng. But Derrick Rose highly respects Tibbs. You know what I'm saying? Like, Todd Gibson highly respects Tibbs. Even Cat, like, he respects Tibbs. So he has the players' respect. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think they're at a point, like, I mean, they can't give up on Tibbs in the mid-season. You just can't.
Not right now.
But I don't think, I think the players do respect him. And I do think that they, even though he plays them hard, he knows they do believe that he's pushing them so that they reach their, optimal level of play on the court. So
I think the last couple of minutes that I got you out here, I think we should reserve that for Leon Rose and just what y'all give to the Knicks community. First of all, like, I appreciate y'all for coming to Harlem,
for having us.
Oh, of course, yes. No, we are so happy to be here. This has been a great time.
It's an honor.
Yeah,
really appreciate that. It's crazy because I'm looking at y'all too, and now my father death anniversary is like a couple of 2 days after my birthday.
What?
And my birthday is next week, so January 27th. And it's just been such an honor to share Knicks content with you and what y'all do. Knicks Omni Fan been around for so many years, and I've been sharing my stuff in this. I'm talking about Facebook.
Yeah, right. Facebook.
I'm talking about Facebook, where I'm sharing my Anchor ads and stuff like that to Knicks Omni Fan. So it's so great, connecting with y'all. So I appreciate that.
Likewise.
I hope that people on Knicks Twitter, y'all appreciate this. Knicks family, we all coming together. Leon Rose.
Yeah, the Godfather.
He came here when it was tough. We just won 17 wins. We draft RJ Barrett. We get Julius Randle the same off season.
Yep.
This is my third year doing my pod. I think y'all been doing Knicks Omni Fan for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
Started way before me.
It's gone through some transitions.
Yeah. But... So I started way before me. So now, what's your thoughts on Leon Rose, in this entirety, of what he's done for the fan, what he's done for the franchise,
organization,
the organization, and how he's kept James Dolan in a great light. James Dolan.
That's a fact.
I've never been a person to dislike James Dolan.
That's interesting. And
James Dolan has hired the most minorities in professional sports since 2000. That is a fact.
Come on.
So I have no beef with him. How do you feel about Leon Rose and what he's done for James Dolan? We got MSG got taken off for Optimum. I don't know what the hell.
I mean, well, let's. It also happened with Spectrum a couple years back. again, I'm
Yeah.
not going to just say that that's a Dolan issue because it's these cable subscribers, these cable carriers
Companies.
as well.
They're just money
greedy.
hungry.
They're greedy, and they look at Dolan as a bank. You know what I'm saying? And they want to.
And it's not just MSG because I saw something come up about Pix
It's-
11 as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
You know, it's just
not just MSG.
this is just a it's just going to be something that we
part of enterprise. It's part of business.
deal with. Yeah,
it's annoying. But in terms of Leon Rose, we call him the Godfather affectionately.
Shout out to
Shout out to
Rose,
you.
Don
Yeah.
Corleone.
No, he
Yeah,
changed the
seriously.
culture.
He changed the culture. He changed the ethos of Knicks basketball,
Mhm.
and what he did was allow fans to trust the front office, which is something that we have not done in years because there have been so many terrible moves made, from trades to
Signings.
It's just been terrible hirings. I'm talking about other front office hirings. Like it was terrible. I mean, we can name names. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and that was all Phil Jackson.
Exactly. Oh gosh. But Leon Rose has renewed the faith of Knicks fans in, number one, being confident in being confident in your research. Because what they do in order to make these moves, you know how much research needs to be done?
Yeah,
Do you know how much scouting?
Shout out to the scouts.
Do you know how much scouting needs to be done
Yes.
to make these moves and feel confident about them? And then they actually are
Right.
We've won, in my opinion. Granted, no, we're not where we want to be, but I feel like we've still won every trade that we've made. Every move that we've made has been in our favor, of the organization, of the fans, of the players. Like, as a whole, Leon Rose has made some amazing moves. Worldwide West, they're doing things for longevity's sake, not just for what looks good on their resume. They're looking at the organization long term, and that's not something that you can say for every front office. We love it. They've single-handedly changed the way that we trust our front office, and also our personnel, our player personnel. I mean, it's just skyrocketed. We really like the moves that they've made.
Yeah, and they're savvy. They find little loopholes and things that, somebody that's not, actively trying to make their team better and they're just more lazy with it, they're not going to find those loopholes. But Leon and them, they
doing a damn thing. Shout out to Mr. Rose, Worldwide West, front office doing what it's doing.
Shout out to Leon Rose.
Yes, you're ready.
He's making it fun. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, it was really annoying. I had to talk about Frank Ntilikina having Kawhi.
Oh Lord.
No.
Oh gosh. Remember when he was our premier defensive player? A lot of mercy. Watch me now. What the?
No, that was another Phil Jackson pick, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yo, Phil Jackson name.
He single-handedly was trying to run it to the ground.
He ruined
Melo's
that
career.
era. He ruined that era of the Knicks. Yeah, he did.
I mean, even with KP.
Oh,
come on. He's one of the most injury-prone players in the league to this day.
I got to shout out. What's the one move? I can't let y'all go without this.
Yeah.
Okay. Carmelo Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
Was his tenure his fault because he took the money, or was it Knicks management fault? Because we're going to look from both sides. There's Knicks fans who say, "Well, you took the money, and you could have took less."
It's Knicks management.
It's Knicks management because I believe Melo even said recently in the podcast, like he told him, like, "Yo, I don't want you to trade the whole team to get me." Like that's what Melo
said that
on the record. Like I don't no. But think about it. Would it make sense? Melo wouldn't want to go to a team
that had nobody,
that had no support, but then they just traded everybody away so that when he gets here, we start from scratch again. Doesn't make any sense.
Not at that point in his career.
You know what I'm saying? Melo wanted to be a Knick, yes, but he didn't want them to trade the whole team just to get him. So I don't put that on Melo at all. That's management.
I agree,
without a doubt.
I agree,
and we love Melo.
Okay.
Yeah, in unison. We didn't plan that.
That's crazy. That's crazy, yo. That's crazy. I hope his jersey gets retired. I'm not gonna lie.
I hope so. I doubt that it will, only because we didn't really achieve much during that
Marc
time.
Gasol got his damn jersey retired. I know Melo.
But
they're not
franchises.
The Knicks.
Different franchises. Those are small market
teams, right?
You know what I'm saying? Like, let's,
But I'm
gonna be mad. I'll be there.
Vote on it. I vote.
I'm there.
Who better, Melo or Bernard King?
Oh man, I mean,
I gotta go with championship. So whoever King.
well, no, Bernard King was
King.
in the 80s.
Okay, but you just asked me about who's better. You said King, Melo, and who?
Bernard King.
King versus Bernard King versus Melo.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm sorry, but I have to go with the person who won a championship. Again, I'm gonna say it again.
But Bernard King didn't win a chip.
championship.
We ain't win a chip since the 70s, girl.
Oh, he was
probably-
in the 80s. All right. Clown me.
You probably thinking of Willis
Well, I
Reed.
am thinking of Willis Reed. I am thinking
That's
of
the
Willis Reed,
reason
but that's
why.
okay. But you know what? Bernard King, the way that he led, though, it was he again changed the ethos of the Knicks during that time as well.
So did Melo.
He did, but again, Melo was different though.
Drug era was drug infested in
I mean,
the NBA
there was a
80s.
difference. There was a difference. See, Carmelo Anthony, again, he was also a lot younger. They have different mentalities back then. I'm gonna still go. I'm gonna go Bernard King. I'm sorry.
I'm going Melo,
and that's fair. That's fair.
Shout
Shout out to Fort Greene, Bernard King for Fort Greene.
Yeah, I mean, off that alone, he gets his own props anyway. But Fort Greene all day.
All right, but I made the blooper. Blooper
Okay.
reel.
It's all good, girl.
It's okay. I say, listen, man. I say crazy shit all the time. I'm about to when I get off here in about an hour, I'll probably say something crazy on Twitter.
Oh goodness.
You
gonna crash out? You gonna crash out? Don't crash out. Don't crash out.
Oh, this made me in a good mood. Trust me, I ain't gonna say that.
Oh, good. We are too, though. This is amazing.
This is
Thank you so
great.
much for having us.
Long time coming, but we made it happen.
Yes, hell yeah.
Yes.
We supposed to. It was all right. So the first time this was supposed to happen.
Yeah, let them know what you did.
Before we leave, the first time this was supposed to happen, it was my fault. I sent them the address. The address was in Brooklyn.
Well, right. He said it's an address, Malcolm X Boulevard. Right.
But we're from Brooklyn.
We're from Brooklyn. So when we hear Malcolm X, it's stop. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
clearly he stays from Harlem, so you know.
But it's all good. That was last week. We here this week, and yeah,
we made it happen though.
Yeah. Thank y'all so much. I would love for y'all to tell people where they can find y'all. What's the next event? What's your website? Where they can find that? Where's the merch when that's coming out? I also would love for y'all to go home with these.
Oh, thank you.
This hat.
I love that. Ooh,
thank you.
That beanie is hot. And everything is hot.
Nice cup.
Should I bring them to the front so we can show the people?
Yeah, man.
Come on. We would love to. Thank you.
Yeah, nah, you're welcome.
Come on, shout out with the merch.
Shout out to my guy Mike.
We appreciate you.
Yeah, see everything. I always try to keep it like very colorful here.
I love it.
Yes.
Nah, the ambiance is official, and thank you for what you do. You know, it's great to see. I love to see Black men doing their thing. It's not easy to be an entrepreneur in a space and a time where everybody's trying to do their own thing. But I respect that you are consistent with your
dedication.
You're consistent and dedicated, and through a lot of adversity. I know this last year and things ain't been easy for you.
Yeah.
But your perseverance is what your dad wants you to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's what both your parents want you to do, and you can do it for yourself.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, and you deserve it, and you're amazing. And we can't wait to come back. We should do something like till the end of the season, or leading into the playoffs. Like we would love to come back.
I'm trying to do some type of watch party, something, man. I'm trying to get everybody to get on the same page with me or something, man. I mean,
so right, you make it happen. You make it happen. Behind the scenes type, discussions.
Right. And to close, just to bring it back, you can find us on all social media platforms at Knicks Omni Fan. Our website is www.theomnifan.com. Our next event is on the 25th of January, but that's already sold out. But we got another event coming on the 26th of February. You're gonna be able to take a photo on the court. So yeah, that's gonna be on our site in a day or two. So definitely don't want to miss that. I promise you. And our merch is also available, www.theomnifan.com.
Yes.
I love you guys.
We love you too. We
Hey, guys,
appreciate
no
you.
worries.
Thank you for having us. Seriously.
Thank you, Nick fans, so much.
Yes,
Yes,
thank y'all for
Knicks-
tuning in.
Knicks Nation, we love y'all.
What
Stay
tapped
tuned.
out is 655 people watching live.
Wow.
Appreciate
Yo,
all you
shout out
guys
to y'all.
watching
Yes.
live. Love all you guys, but we out of here. Peace and blessings. Thank you so much.
You're ready.
Bye.
Yeah.